Hello everyone, here in this video what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn how to automate the Excel work using Python. So here we have this particular set of data and using some of the columns out of it, for example this column, this and this column, we're gonna summarize our data something like this, right? So if you see what all we have done is we have done summarization, we have applied some formatting, like we have merged sales, fridge pan, unmerged sales, change font color, fill color, etc. All these things we have done. So these all are the things which we're gonna learn today, how to do all these things using Python. Trust me, I have done all these things using Python and not the Excel. Okay, now let me tell you what all you will be learning in this video is this. You can pause the video and go through this list. Even I'll try to cover more than this, and all of these things we're gonna do using openpyxl. Alright, so enough of introduction. Let's jump to the Jupyter notebook and let me show you how to do all these things. Okay, so here is the script which I have already done. Now I'm just going to create a new script right in front of you, and then I will create all these things over there along with when you are watching this. Alright, so here what I'm going to do is, let's say import Pandas as PD, import NumPy as NP, done. Then next thing which we need to do is import the data. To save the time, what I'll do is I'll just copy paste this thing and I'll just show you the sample of this data. Alright, so here we got the data. Now after getting the data, what we need to do is we need to summarize this data using this column and sales. So when we summarize, it should look something like this. Okay, let me just show it to you. Okay, so for that what we're gonna do is we will say mart dot pivot table, and in that the value which we want to use for calculation is sales. So in the square bracket you can put that, and then on the row side which we want to see is these all values which are outlet year. So for that what we're gonna say is index, and in the index we're gonna put outlet year over here, and then after this what we want to show at column heading, this value which you see tier 1, tier 2 and something like that. Now you got it correctly, right? So let me just say columns equals to, inside that I will put this. Okay, now let's just see how the data looks like. Bravo, we got it over here, isn't it? Now let me just put this data in a table called summary, and here I will just print summary. Now once this is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this data in Excel. So you all know how to export that, so if you want you can skip this part to Excel, and then the location which we're gonna supply is the same one, the one which we have right over here, and here I'm just going to put this same location, and after that what I'll do is I'll say summary. Alright, let me just say mart summary, okay, dot xlsx, and that's it, right? So once you do this, what's gonna happen, so let's just go to that particular folder, and here we would have our data exported. You see right over here, it's just going to open. Ooh, we have our data just right over here, right? But now the time comes when we need to apply all the formattings. Here we are done with, you know, modifying or summarizing the data. Right now the time comes when we start with formatting the data. So let's start with deleting these two columns. These two columns we will first delete. Once this is deleted, then we will start with applying the formatting. Let me just close this first, and to start with formatting, what we need to do is we're gonna be using openpyxl library, right? So from openpyxl import load workbook and workbook, these two libraries modules rather I can say, I'm going to import that. Then first we need to create an object, or maybe you can say variable, and in that we're gonna load workbook. Okay, so it's this, it is just like, you know, importing the Excel file like Pandas, read Excel. Okay, now once this is imported, we need to create the worksheet as well, right? So let's just see the worksheet which has been created, that must have the name sheet 1. So how can you select a sheet? Just pay some attention over here. Let's say if you have a workbook which has 10 sheets, so out of that, if you want to select a particular sheet, so what you can do is, here we have created the workbook, and out of that you can just give the name of the sheet which you want to grab. Okay, now we are done with fetching the sheet. Let me just see if that's just over here. Here it was sheet name. All right, so we are done with that. Here sheet name. Let's just close this. I will close this as well because that's not required, and we will be creating all new. Okay, now I will close this also. All right, let me just come back over here. Now that is done. Next thing which we're gonna do is we're gonna delete the rows out of that. Okay, so this is the sheet, and on that we're gonna call delete rows. So first thing which we want to delete is, there are 2 rows which we want to delete out of it. Let me just have it open once again. So here the 3rd row and the 1st row we want to delete. Let me just close this and come back over here. So here I'm just going to say 3rd row and then the 1st row. These 2 rows I want to delete, and once this is deleted, what I want to do is I want to save the workbook. All right, and again I'm just going to create another format. I'll create a copy of that. Okay, so I will say this thing. Okay, summary 2. Now let's go back over here and just check that out. So I just created a copy of that summary. All right, so there appears to be a problem. This tier 1 is shifted right over here, so I'll just fix this quickly. Let's just come back over here, try this once again and do this, and let's just see if this is sorted or not. If not, then I'll make a fix of that for again. All right, let me just try one thing. Okay, so the problem over here is we have a merged cell, right? So we have this merged cell, right? So we first need to unmerge this particular cell, and then we need to start with deleting. So let's see how to unmerge this cell. Okay, so here I'm just going to say ws.unmerge cell, and into that I'm just going to provide the range of the cell which I want to unmerge. So the range of the cell which I have is starting from B1 till D1, right? So let's just see B1 till D1. Okay, now this is done. Let me just start it from here, and let's do this, and let's do this, and let's just go and see what is the change that we have. Is it working well? Yes, now you see it is correctly deleted. Okay, now we are done with deleting the things. Next thing which we're gonna do is select the headers and apply fill color into that. Okay, before I start that, I would just like to show you, just in case if you want to grab any cell and if you want to write in something into that. So what you can do is, this is your worksheet, WS is your worksheet now, and if you want to, let's say you want to go in let's say G1, right? So let's call it G1 cell, and into that you can write my name is Learnerea. All right, let's just see that and save it, and just go back over here and just come into this, and you see here we go, right? So here is the thing that we have written into it, what we just wrote. Let's try to delete it if we are able to delete that as well. Okay, what do you think? Can we delete that? All right, let's just try. It is processing. All right, we can simply just put something missing. Okay, so now if you want to just go into that. Oops, doesn't. Okay, because I just didn't save that. All right, so let me just do this and again come back over here. All right, so that's gone. Now the next thing comes, like you understood, to select anything, what we require is this part, column name and the row number. Okay, so let me just take you through the analysis, how can we reach to that particular part. So I'll again open this particular Excel file, and in this what we need to do is we just need to start from A1 from here and till here we need to select and then fill the color. Same thing we need to do starting from here and till here we need to fill the color. Okay, so let's just start it. Okay, so first thing which we need to do is we need to select A1 and need to go till D1. Okay, how can we do that? So for that what we're gonna say is for row in range, and the range which we're gonna take is 1, 2. So why I'm saying 1, 2? So starting from row 1 and ending in row 1 only. So this is only one row. So the last limit which you provide, Python considers 1 less than that. Hope that is clear. Now next thing which we're gonna do is for columns, call in range, and how many columns that we have to fill the color in? There are 4 columns, A, B, C, D. These all 4 columns we need to fill the color in. So that's why I will put 1, 5. Now let's try to print the row first. Okay, let's just try to print it. It is always taking 1, right? And let's try to print column, then 1, 2, 3, 4. It selected all those 4. But what we need to make is we need to make this G1 kind of stuff, right? So it should have alphabet and then the number. So what we're gonna do is we will just come over here and we're gonna say from openpyxl import, openpyxl dot utils import get column later. Okay, now this is done, and over here we're gonna create a variable which is called column name, and in that we will say get column later, and into that I will just put the column. Okay, and here I will just try to print the get column name. Okay, now you can see it is printing A, B, C, D. Fantastic, isn't it? Now once this is done, what we need to do is we need to fill color into that. To fill color we need to import another module which is called from open dot styles import. What we can do is pattern fill. We have pattern fill, we would require font, we would require alignment, right? So these all are the things which we might require when we are doing the formatting. So we're gonna do all these things, right? So we will just come over here, and over here what I'm going to say is I will just say header fill. I'm just going to create a pattern or template rather, you can say, and here the function which we can use is pattern fill. Oops, I just imported that, isn't it? Let me just run this first, and then what we can do is I will just come back over here, and right over here what I'm going to do is I'll just say pattern fill, and into that it has many different parameters, right? So what we need to put over here is pattern type. I'm going to say solid fill, right? This is solid. And then what is the color that I want to fill in, right? So the color parameter is FG color. Now here the point comes in how to know what if you write over here red, let's see if this works. It gives the error, right? So what is the value that we can accept is hex values, right? How would you get that? So for that all that you need to do is go on Chrome and look for color picker. Okay, so here's the color picker, and out of this the color which I want to fill into the heading is this color. Let's use this color. Okay, someone which looks pretty good. So this thing. Now this is the hexadecimal value, hex value which you can use. Just copy it from here, come back into right over here, and over here in place of red you can just use this, right? So this is done, and next thing which we're going to do is, like I said, whatever cell we want to select, we just need to use WS and then subset that. To subset that we require column name, right? So this will put A, B, C, D, etc. And then along with that, we also need to concatenate row number. So here the row number is always going to be 1, but instead of hard coding that, I will just put that particular variable. So str into that, I will just use row. And here the formula which you can use is fill, and the pattern, the template which we have created over here is this one. Okay, so I will just come over here and I will try to see if this comes. Yeah, it just came, right? So now if I run this and if I hit this one again, oops, it looks like the file is opened. So let me just close this file first and run this again. And when you come back and when you open it, always remember, when you are making any change into that Excel file, it's gonna give you error if that file is open. So this is the color it just filled in, right? Now we need to fill this column as well, this entire column, and then we will be changing the font color and font size, etc. Let's just start with filling the font color. So what do you filling the column cells. Okay, so we can use the same technique over here. So this time what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep multiple rows. This time we would have multiple rows, but the column will be just one. Let me show it to you. So this entire thing which we need to fill, right? So we would require to fill this column which is just 1, and the rows are, number of rows are 10, right? So what we can do is we can just say, in fact number of rows are 11. So here I would say 1 to 12, and the column is just 1. Okay, and then the same thing, that's it, right? Let me just double check if I have that Excel file open. Yes, otherwise that will again give me the error. Okay, now let's just save this and come back over here and just try to open it. Yeah, we just got that. Okay, so you see this color is filled in over here as well, right? So it's looking interesting. Now the next thing which we need to do is we need to insert one row on top of this, or maybe let's just try to bring this entire thing from here, from this place to, let's say, this place. Okay, we will just move it. So to bring it from here to here, how many columns do we need to insert? We need to insert 4 columns, and how many rows? 10 rows, right? So let's just insert that. So here you are just going to learn how to insert the rows and columns. All right, so let's just say ws dot insert columns. The number of columns going to be 1 all the way 5, because 5th will not be considered, right? And ws dot insert rows, and that you gonna do is 10 rows we want to insert, right? Because we want to bring right over here. All right, or let's just put it here. Okay, so we want to insert 11 rows. Okay, so for that 1 comma 12, let's just say, and let's just close this and hit enter, and let's go and open this again, and let's see what happens, what has happened. So this video is going to be little longer, but be with it, because we are covering so many things into it, so that apparently this will be little longer. Otherwise I could have made multiple videos for each of these small things, right? So this has just moved the data, like you can see over here. So it appears to be too low. So what I can do is I can just make little less, right? So I'll just change the range of rows which I have just inserted. I will just insert 7 rows only. Okay, and let's just hit enter, save that file and just open it again, and let's just see what has happened. Oops, it has taken all over here. Okay, I understood why it is happening. So what you need to do is, whenever you are making this kind of changes, just start from here. Later on what we will do is we will put everything in one segment, and then it will work well, right? Let me just see where the data is. Now this looks pretty well. The next thing which comes is merging these two, this range of cells, right? So it is starting from F1 till I7. So let's just merge that. I will just merge that. Okay, So to merge that, what we can do is we will say ws dot merge cells, and it was starting from f. Let me just have it open once again. I just forgot that. Let me just open that. Okay, so it is starting from f6 till i7, f6 i7. Let me just say f6 i7. Okay, now this will be merged, and let's just see what happens. Here we have that Excel file. Now you see this is merged. Once this is merged, what we want to do is we need to write marked sales data. So let me just write that into it, and to write that, what we can do is we can just say, what is it that we can say over here is, let's just say ws dot ws, and in that what you can do is you can just use one cell itself. Okay, because whenever we merge, whatever is written in the first cell, that is applied in all, right? So we can say marked cells data, or what is it? Yes, marked cells data. Okay, so this will be written into that merged cells, and let's just save it and just again go back to this, and let's just check it out. Yeah, so it is written over here. Now you can see it is not aligned. We need to put this in the center. Let's just do that again. So for that, what we can do is we can just say, sorry, ws f6, and here we can just say alignment. Here we can say alignment, and see the parameters which it accepts. So it is asking horizontally, vertically, where you want to put. So horizontally and vertically both I want to put in center, and over here again I would say vertical, and here also I'm going to say center. Oops, there seemed to be some issue. Alignment, oh, spelling error. Yes, that just worked. Now let's just come back over here and open the Excel file. Yeah, now we have that in center. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to apply color into that particular cell which we just merged. Next thing which we're gonna do is we're gonna format this particular cell. We need to fill this color, and then we will be changing font color and all, right? So let's just create multiple templates over here. First, I'm going to create the template for heading fill. All right, and I can take this. So everything I want to keep same, is just the FG color I will be changing. So the FG color which I want to use is, I can use this one, or maybe this one, anything you can use. So I'm just trying to figure out something which looks something better. Okay, so this I will be using over here. Next comes changing the font. So I will change header font, and that I'm going to say font equals to, here you can put everything. For example, I want to change I want to make that bold, right? So bold, I would say true, and then let's say I want to change the color I want to make white. So for that, again come back over here, take the hex value. For font color, I will use, this is the color I'm going to change for row heading and column heading. Let me show you what. So these headings and these headings, this color I'm going to change over here, right? So I will just make it bold and color equals to white. This is the only formatting which I want to apply into this. Then I will apply heading font. So in that, again I want to use font, and I will say bold equals to true, then color, just give me 1 second, then color equals to, I will keep the same color, I will make that white itself. Okay, so bold it's gonna be, and then the font name which we want to change, right? So that is not looking good. So I want to change this style. How do you get which font name to use, right? So let me just show it to you. Okay, I'll just have it open, and if you come back over here from the list, you can choose any font name. So what I like is lemon. All right, so if you make this is something which is looking good, so I will use lemon font name, lemon font name. Okay, so here I will say name equals to, oops, I believe it something which I need to put in the beginning itself, and here I'm going to say lemon. Let me just copy it. Okay, let me just say lemon and comma, and after that what we need to use is bold, color change, and then size. I'm going to make it 15. So this template is ready. Now over here where we are changing the color, filling the color, we can just change the font style as well, right? We can just say font equals to header font. This is the thing, it will apply both of the two things. Okay, and then over here I will just put this thing as well. Okay, now next thing which comes in is changing the heading, which wherever we have written this, right? So here we just change the alignment. Then what we can do is we can just say FWS, and into that we can just put the color of the, we can change the color of the cell, F6 dot fill, and here, and then also we will say F6 into F6, and then we will say font. So what we're gonna use over here is header fill and header font, header fill, and here I'm just going to use header font, right? So this is done. Now let me just run it all over again. So from here I will start this is done, this is also done. Now before I save it, I just need to ensure that the file is not opened. Yeah, it is not open. Done, and then let's just open that and let's just see what happens. Ooh, this looks good. Now the only challenge is the color is different, right? So the color which we chose was different, and what we see is little different. So let me just see header fill, heading fill. I just need to use heading fill. Let me see if I have used a different template. Yeah, so I have used the header fill. That's why it was giving me a different color. Almost done. Yeah, we are done with this. So it is slightly different in color compared to what I showed you over there, right? Now the next thing which comes is setting the border. It doesn't have the border, right? So set the border, what I will do is I will go back to the Jupyter notebook over here, and I would require to import some module, and which will be from openpyxl dot styles dot borders, import border, and then one more which is site. Once this is done, what we need to do is, that's the last effect which we are going to apply, right? So before we are exporting the data or saving the data, I'll just apply over here. So like the way over here we went through each of the cell and we applied the fill, color, and font, same way we are going to go through each of the cell and apply the, what we call that, border. Okay, so for that what we're gonna do is we're gonna say for, let me just show you the range of the data where we have this. Okay, so I'll just open the Excel file once again over here, and the place where we want to start is F6, right? That means 6th row and 6th column we want to start, and we want to go till 18th row, and we want to go till 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th column. Okay, so let me just show it to you over here. Okay, for row in rows, and for call, sorry, here I just again made a mistake. Here I have to say range. So the range which we want to take is 6th row till 18th row, 6th to 18, right? So here I would have to say 19. And for call in range, again I have to start from 6th and I have to go till 9th, so here I'll say 10. Okay, So this is the range which we want to apply, and after that what you can do is, you can, to just keep it simple, you can copy this part from here and come back just right over here and put it this, but here it will again fill the things. So we need to set the border template as well. How can we do that? So here we will say border style. Let's create one template which is called border style, and here you will say border, and in that what you're gonna do is left, right, and look at this. Okay, so here it has all this parameter, left, right, top, bottom. So we need to supply that. Okay, so first we're gonna say left. So left border we are trying to decide over here, and there is this argument which you have to use, which we imported at the top, right? And then you can use style parameter, and here I'm just trying to use thin border, not the thick one or something more heavy. Okay, so this is for left. Same thing we need to apply for right, then for top, and then for bottom. All right, so this is done. There appears to be some problem. Okay, here I just missed to paste that. Okay, now this border template is created. I will just use this border template, border style, right over here. Here I will say border. All right, and here I will just use that and just run this and save this, and let's just see what happens when you come back over here and open the Excel file. Let's see if it has been applied. Yeah, it has been applied correctly. Let's just see, does it have the border? I don't think so. Let me just see if that has the border. Let's just try to make that thick instead of thin. Let's just try to make that thick, so that we will get to know whether it is getting applied or not. Let's just come over here and let's make it thick, and this one also thick. Okay, let's just run this, and after that let's directly come over here and then save this, and let's just see if that has been applied. If not, then we will run the entire process once again. Okay, it has been applied. Bravo. So you don't need to make this thick border. It's just to make it clear I applied that, right? So like you can see how we applied the border also. Now the last thing which we need to do is fridge pan, right? So this pan we want to freeze. Let me show you that very quickly. Okay, so what you can do is, first you need to create a variable, right? Let's call it freeze cell, right? And over here what I'll do is, which cell I want to freeze it from. So I would like to freeze it from, let me just have it open once again, and I want to freeze it from here, which is G9. All right, so let me just put this over here. I will simply say G9, and after that what I can do is I will say worksheet dot freeze pan, and into that I will just assign this particular cell. Okay, and once this is done, I will just save this, and let's just open this. All right, like you can see the freeze pan has been applied. If this is not clear to you, so what I do is I'll just scroll right. Like you can see this is freeze pan, and I will just scroll down, and now you can see it. So this is how you can use all this technique to automate your Excel work which you do on daily basis. Sorry, this went little longer. I just hope that it helped you. Yes, if you liked it, then just give a thumbs up and write your opinion in the comments, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe the channel. That's what will be a support to us. Thank you very much for watching the video. Once again, just in case if you have any doubt, put that into the comment section. I would also, before close this, I would also say you try this, you practice this, and try to put all these cells together, arrange it well, and make a very beautiful project. Okay, I will be uploading this script on GitHub. Until then, happy learning. Wish you